Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome to 3 Disturbing True Pool Party Horror Stories. This video is by Mr.nightmare, so if you guys haven't already, be sure you swoop down to that description box, click on that link, and go watch the videos in entirety while me pausing and stopping and talking through the whole thing while you always pausing the video. But no, if you guys, haven't already hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, support your boy, man, I greatly appreciate it. A lot of you guys during the live stream was telling me, well, check out the pool party horror stories, Zems. Check out the pool party horror stories. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. I don't know, let's see. I'm not a swimmer myself, man. Jacuzzi is like my max, man. If I do go in the pool, I'm standing on a side where I can float. As soon as my feet leave the ground, man, you might as well call the lifeguard, bro, because I'm about to get bodied. We really didn't have pools growing up around in LA, so I never practiced swimming. I've never been good at swimming. The most I can do is like a backstroke, but other than that, bro, I'm not going too far. That's why I kind of stay away from water. I'm more of a ground person. I need to be able to defend myself when the time needs. For now, let's get it. 2000 right around the corner, boy. I'm telling you, hit that like button, subscribe button. Story 1.
28 years old now, but I vividly remember a horrifying incident that occurred when I was a 22-year-old college student. I lived in Florida, in a fairly large house in Orlando, with a rather large property with a big pool outside. I was living with my parents at the time, and they both own their respective businesses and frequently travel for meetings and conventions and whatnot.
Baller.
One week in mid-May, when both of my parents were away, they allowed me to invite a limited amount of friends over to have a pool party in the backyard. I'm quite surprised that my parents trusted that I would be responsible enough to have a small party, promising no alcohol, no loud music, and to send everyone home at a reasonable hour, as to not disturb the neighbors.
My mom wouldn't have it.
I proceeded to call 6 of my best friends and let them know about the pool party, inviting them over the following evening with a limit of 1 guest per person. Everyone replied almost instantly, totally down to come over, asking if they should bring over snacks and drinks. Remembering what my parents said, I ignored their conditions and allowed my friends to bring alcohol. At around 8 p.m., almost all of my friends who I invited showed up with their bathing suits and plenty of alcohol. My friends took turns playing music on my Bluetooth speaker. They all brought their girlfriends or guy friends that were all acquaintances of mine, totaling 13 people including me.
Not bad so far, not bad.
I started the backyard fire pit, and we started drinking, laughing, making idle chit-chat, and some of my friends decided to go into the pool. Most of my friends jumped in off the diving board, and I sat by the fire watching them splash, pick their girlfriends up, slam them in the pool, and have a good time in their now drunken state.
Yeah, Batista bomb in the water.
Almost 2 hours passed, and I remember what my parents said about allowing guests to stay late. It was now approximately 10:30 p.m.
That's not late.
Most of my friends were still in the pool listening to music, and occasionally coming out for snacks and more booze. Myself in a rather drunken state, I kind of lost track of time. I went inside of my house for a few moments to grab another beer, when I heard leaves rustling from the bushes on the side of my property.
Red flag 1.
Now keep in mind, my house is gated and has security cameras all around. So I didn't get too suspicious, and I didn't think much of the sounds, figuring some of my friends may have made their way to the front of the house to either make out with their girlfriends or get ready to go home.
To make out with their girlfriends ready to get home, so you got a whole big ass house right there and you're gonna think they ran over to go make out behind some bushes? Oh no, hey, whatever, I don't know.
At that point, it was already 11:30 p.m., and I completely failed to adhere to all my parents' rules, which actually made me feel a little guilty.
Yep.
I went back outside with snacks and drinks and told everyone that it was almost time to end our evening. 10 out of the 12 of my guests were still in the pool screaming and horsing around, while the 2 others went missing. When I realized this, I went back inside, walked around the house, and heard laughing and moaning from upstairs in one of the guest bedrooms.
They some freaks!
Assuming that one of my friends snuck upstairs with his girlfriend to hook up and whatnot, I don't need to give an explanation. I was too drunk and lazy at the time to go upstairs and tell them it's time to leave.
Broke her off.
But before I returned to the backyard to finally close up shop, I heard blood-curdling screams come from the pool. I ran outside to find my pool filled with blood on the surface, with my friends screaming that one of their girlfriends was swimming, and felt an arm tug them down and must have had a knife cut them on their leg.
What?
All of a sudden, an unfamiliar face, a guy probably in his late 20s, with long, scraggly hair, a scruffy beard, tall with a couple tattoos on his body, emerged from the pool and ran out in a pair of fatigue cargo shorts and bolted to the front of the house. A few of the guys tried to chase after him, but they couldn't find where he went. We all panicked and took my friend's girlfriend and went inside the house, with a couple from upstairs hustling downstairs to see what the commotion was.
How the hell did he get inside the house, get in the water without nobody seeing him, go underwater, grab somebody, pull him down, and then slice him and then get out of the pool and run? Like, what was the whole purpose of doing that? And how did they not see him? Like, he part fish or something? Like, that's hood Aquaman, like crackhead Aquaman. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't see how he snuck around. Like, he got cargos on. Maybe he was blended in, but I don't know how. But maybe, they're drinking and stuff and not really paying attention. They probably they probably overlooked it. But that's crazy, man. Hopefully she didn't get no AIDS or anything or any kind of diseases that he stabbed her with like a dirty knife or something.
I locked the doors while calling 911 requesting an ambulance. When the police and paramedics came to my house, they took the injured girl into the ambulance, and the rest of my friends left the house, confused and shaken up by the events that just took place. The police and I went to review the security footage. Lo and behold, when I heard that rustling in my bushes, there was the guy, who somehow made it over my gate undetected, went to the side of the house and casually blended in, and went into the pool with the rest of the guests. Stupid me didn't think of checking the surveillance system. Too drunk and concerned about my friends having a good time, that I irresponsibly let an intruder enter my parents' property undetected.
Let me tell you guys something. If you're the party host, it's probably in your best interest to not get drunk because one, you have to look after your property, and two, you never know what's going to happen. You have to be fully aware and sober if something were to happen. It's like the saying, don't get high on your own supply. You know what I'm saying? Throw the party, but don't get drunk. You know what I'm saying? You're just there to spectate and have fun and, cater to guests. That's pretty much your whole main objective. You have a drink, maybe one or two, you're fine. But other than that, that's it, bro. You're off limits for the rest of the night.
Gave the footage to the police, but to this day, they were never alike to identify the intruder. And of course, when my parents returned, they found out what transpired, scolded me, and never allowed me to have a party in the house again.
Sounds about right. Story 2, jumping in the pool with Zems butt naked 4.
I was once invited to a pool party when I was 17. One of the more popular kids in our school was throwing a high school graduation pool party where his parents wouldn't be home. His name was Daryl, and he had a huge backyard with a nice in-ground pool, perfect for pool parties, though most of us have big yards where we live because we're in a less congested town. I wasn't close with Daryl, so I hitched a ride with a couple friends who knew him better. 3 of us stepped into his backyard. It was packed. It was actually impressive how many kids were there. I'd say at least a quarter of the entire grade was at this party. We wanted to say hi to Daryl because it would be the right thing to do coming into his party.
Facts.
We asked a couple kids we knew if they'd seen him. They said they hadn't seen him for a while now, so we asked others and got similar responses.
Red flag 1.
We soon realized nobody seemed to know where Daryl was.
Red flag 2.
Maybe he was in his house with a girl or something, so we just went about our own business. Beer pong, people splashed around the pool, and the night became a daze overall. I didn't jump in the pool because I didn't bring a bathing suit and I just didn't want to get wet. Throughout the night, I would hear other kids screaming, "Where's Daryl?" It seemed others were trying to find him because it was weird he hadn't been seen for nearly 2 hours.
I'm going to take a wild guess. I've never seen this before. Either 1, somebody killed him in the house, or 2, he's probably in that pool and probably drowned. That's my 2 guesses.
Me and the 2 friends I came with joined a little circle of people talking about how Daryl hadn't been answering his text for a couple hours. Still, people were just chalking it up to maybe him being upstairs with a girl. Who knew? It was his party after all. Some more time passed and I had to go to the bathroom. There were a bunch of people inside the house, and there was actually a line for the bathroom. I opened a door in the hallway, and it led to the basement. My house had a bathroom in the basement, so I figured there was a chance this one did as well. Turned on the light in the basement and walked down.
You about to find it.
I started looking for a bathroom. There were only 2 doors down there, though. The first one led to a closet. There was another door on the other side of the basement. It was shut, so I went over to it and tried the doorknob. It was locked. I knocked on the door. There was no answer. The thing about this lock, though, it seemed I would be able to pick it unlocked simply using my fingernail. So I did just that. I knocked again before opening the door. I was expecting to see a bathroom, but instead I saw a big pitch-black room. It seemed to be a boiler room. However, there was the faintest little yellow light emanating from what appeared to be some kind of boiler machine in the far corner of the room. And in that light, I could see a person, surely a person, standing right in the back of the room. My heart dropped when I saw the person duck down behind something. I thought, What if that was Daryl?
Nah.
I looked for the light switch and found it. It was one of those hanging switches that you pull down. I turned the lights on and went over to where I saw the person hide. The room was cluttered with tables and a washer and dryer machine, so the walking space was kind of arranged in a circle.
Please get out of there, bro, please.
I got to where I saw the person not even 20 seconds earlier. I saw Daryl laying on the floor in a bloody mess, apparently passed out. I looked back up to the door to the boiler room when I heard footsteps coming from that direction. There was someone rushing out the doorway. But for a split second, they looked back, and I instantly recognized the face of a kid named Todd from our grade.
Oh, there we go.
He was a very quiet kid that creeped out a large amount of people in our grade. Instead of calling the cops and tending to Daryl, I ran upstairs hoping to catch up to Todd to make sure there were other witnesses to his presence there that night.
What? Forget him. You know who he is. Stay there and make sure Daryl's alive. I get what he's trying to say, like make sure everybody else seen him. So the fact that he don't run up there and be like, oh, he so-and-so just killed him downstairs. You get what I'm saying? So I get what he's kind of saying. So maybe he rushed up and tried to like stop him and try to say he did something to Daryl before he said that he did something to Daryl. So it won't be like conflicting statements that he go to jail for something that the other guy did, which is named Todd. That's a tough decision. I don't know. My first thing would probably, you probably right. I probably chased after him too, just to get it like to whip his ass a little bit, but.
I made it upstairs to the hallway and started to scream for people's attention. Everyone who was in the living room came to look and could see Todd rushing out the front door. They saw him. They were now witnesses to his being there. I told them all to come downstairs and see what he did. I would have considered rushing to tackle him, but I didn't know what weapons he had on him.
I watched him.
We all got downstairs and saw multiple stab wounds in Daryl's legs. First thing we did was call 911 for police and an ambulance.
Please let him live. Please let him live.
Daryl was rushed to the hospital, while at least 10 people vouched for me when I saw a kid in our grade named Todd at the scene of the crime. That same night, police apparently raided Tom's house and he was arrested. I'm pretty sure he's still in jail. Not sure if they got him for attempted murder or what.
Attempted murder, probably.
Daryl is fine now, but everyone believes that Todd did what he did out of jealousy of Daryl's popularity. Todd didn't seem to have any friends in school, would often be picked on by kids in Daryl's friend group. I'm not saying Todd was justified at all, but it's scary what bullying can drive some people to do.
Facts, man. I hate bullies, man. I had to deal with bullies too. I was skinny. I was 6'1". I weighed 140, bruh. 140 in high school. Right now I weigh 187. I put on 40 pounds over the last, 6-7 years. But I actually try to get people to try to bully me too. But what they did know is I was skinny, but I was heavy-handed, bro. I could fight. I was been fighting since like middle school, elementary, bro. My mom taught me how to fight. My brother taught me how to fight. So I've been fighting. And all of my fights wasn't because I started them. It was because people tried to test me because I smiled a lot. I played a lot. I was happy all the time. I just let people do whatever. And they just thought like, oh, well, I could beat this kid up. And then they soon found out it was just, I'm not a violent person, but I will fight if I have to. You get what I'm saying? But some people will do some crazy stuff. I never went to the extent like, oh man, go kill this person and do this and do that. But I'm pretty sure he's still in jail unless he got let out for good behavior. But then again, it's college, so he could be tried as an adult because that's attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and fleeing the scene of a crime. But I don't know what else he could get hit with too. Definitely is probably still in jail. Let me know down in the comment section if you have been bullied or if you've protected somebody from bullying or if you ever been the bully, Let me know down in the comment section. Story 3. Son.
When I bought my first house, I had a pool party on a Friday.
Woo
It was supposed to be my housewarming party. I had a few of my closest friends over. Everyone drank a bunch, and a few hours later, people were on their way out. Friends were a little too drunk for me to allow them to drive home, so I offered them spots on the couches to sleep.
Real friend right
Call
there.
those two friends Rob and Dan for the brief mentions they'll get in the story.
Just make sure you give them a blanket.
By the time I went upstairs to brush my teeth and get ready for bed, I thought both Rob and Dan had already passed out on the couches downstairs. I got into my room to change into my pajamas. I heard a splash in the pool in my backyard. I muttered to myself, what the hell are they doing? I went to the window to look out to the pool, and in the pool was one of them just standing in there. I was pissed because I knew there were no more towels outside, and now they'd have to bring their drunk asses in dripping all over my carpets downstairs.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
I opened the window and called out to whichever of them it was to get the hell out of the pool. They turned their head to look up at my window. I had to squint my eyes because I couldn't tell if it was Rob or Dan. Whichever it was wearing a black shirt in the pool. I couldn't remember who was wearing what from earlier, to be honest. But whoever it was, they just had a staring contest with me.
That's not your friend.
For over 10 seconds, whoever it was just looked up at my window at me. I had grown impatient with them, so I went downstairs with my shoes on. but I froze at the bottom step when I saw both Rob and Dan fast asleep on either couches in my living room. My next course of action was running to the kitchen to grab the biggest kitchen knife from my knife holder
There we
and
go.
running outside. I turned the backyard light on before I went out so I could see. The pool was now empty. I walked to the edge of the deck to the pool and stopped. I looked into the pool, making sure no one was hiding at the bottom. Then I looked out to the further depths of my backyard, by the trees and bushes. In one of my trees, I was 90% sure I saw someone sitting on one of the thicker, lower branches. Even with the knife in my hand, I was still way too scared to go out there and confront the situation.
Facts. What you gonna do, throw it at him?
I went back in my house, locked the door, and shut the blind on the door. I sat in the living room on the ottoman, feeling slight comfort being next to both Rob and Dan, even though they were asleep. I sat there just thinking and shaking when I heard this. A tapping at the sliding door to the backyard. I woke up Rob and Dan now, asking the two to check the yard with me.
I need some muscle.
They came to the door, took one peek outside, and when they didn't see anything, they said ignore it and go back to sleep.
Nah, bro, that's how it starts.
It was the worst reaction I could have expected from them. Someone I didn't know was out there playing some kind of fucked up game with me, and it was honestly terrifying me. I stayed up that whole night, checking my window every few minutes just to make sure no one was in my pool. I didn't actually go to sleep until the sun started coming up.
That's me.
By the time I woke up, my friends were already gone. I texted each of my friends who came over to confirm they weren't out there messing with me or whatever. Then went to the backyard to do some detective work.
I mean, how you gonna confirm it wasn't them? Like, so they jumped out of the pool, right? Splashed in, covered in water, ran back in the house, got on the couch and dried off that quickly. And in the future, if you guys see somebody in your pool, make sure you get eyes on and call people so you can visually see where they're going. Because if they disappear, bro, you out of luck unless you just got security cameras around your house. Like, I don't know if I don't think that was a human being, bro. How do you go from the pool, stand in the middle of the pool? He didn't even hear you get out the pool, and then when you looked outside, you're in a tree. That doesn't even sound human to me, but I don't know.
I didn't find much, but I did find a mini stepping ladder planted right in front of the tree that I was so sure I saw someone sitting in last night.
Never mind.
Grabbed the ladder and went to go put it back in the shed. However, I stopped when I saw someone looking out the small window of the shed. It was someone I didn't know.
That dude from yesterday.
I dropped the ladder and ran to my house to call the cops. I stood by my kitchen window watching the shed the whole time I was on the phone with the police. And at one point the door to the shed opened, and some tall, creepish looking dude with messy, medium-length black hair and a black t-shirt and cargo pants stepped out and walked to the gate.
Cargo pants. Is it the
I
same
gave
guy?
the exact description on the phone, as well as to the cop who came to my door. I told the cop the whole story, but in the end, there wasn't much he could do other than write down the description of the guy. He suggested I install some security cameras and went on his way. And a week later, I'd already had a camera system installed.
Well, there he goes. I mean, the description sounds just like the guy from the last video. But I'm going to end right here, guys. If you enjoyed my content, man, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, support your boy. This video is by Mr.nightmare, and it's called 3 Disturbing True Pool Party Horror Stories. Make sure you swoop down to that description box, click on that link, go watch the video in entirety while me pausing and stopping and talking through the whole thing. Thank you guys so much for showing the great support, man. We're 130 away from 2,000, man. It feels good, you know? And I'll try my hardest. I wake up every morning, I skip breakfast, and I go to work, and I go, thank you. But, man, that was pretty dope. Let me know down in the comment section which story you thought was the scariest. I'll probably say for me, maybe the third one. I think the third one's a little bit more creepy than the rest of them. The first one was kind of like, I'm kind of lost because why did you want to cut somebody at the bottom of the water where you could have just went in the house and stabbed? I don't know, but that's just me, but I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section which you thought was scarier, or if you have any scary pool party stories yourself, let me know down in the comment section. But again, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Zems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest.